Well, thank you for tuning in to iFix Model Trains. This is Johnny. Today on the program, what we're going to be doing is a series where we're talking about these are older models. They're cheap. Many times you have to fix them. But once you get them fixed, they're usually pretty good. Many of them are pretty good runners. They just require a lot of maintenance. So we're going to be going through them and talking about them and just let you know, the reason why I do this is I got a very small budget. So anyway, my first model here is a Athearn. Most of the trains I have here, the makers, well, except for this one, this is Athearn's church, and might as well just start with it. It's an Athearn switcher, but most of them are discontinued. But I want to talk about, I listened to a fella not long ago, and he was talking about what trains to buy. And I got to say that I buy the old ones. And the reason why I do is, if you're like me, I have a budget that I can spend. If I were to spend, because there's some really good, dependable, good models out there that are ready to roll. As soon as you put them on the track, they're going. But they also come with a pretty penny. They have a pretty good sized price tag. For example, I cannot spend $300 on one model. You can get a model like this and spend $300 on it. It may not be exactly like this, but it'll be close to this. Very fine detailed. It'll have all its components. Like this one here right now is missing the rails or the railings in the back and the front, and so it needs some work done on it. And so the thing about this is, as much as we're looking at this, going, oh yeah, this is this, and this is that, this is that other thing, the bottom line is, this thing needs work.
I have some leads that we can
it runs okay, and we're not going to show you whether it runs, how well it runs, or doesn't run. I mainly bought it because, one, it's a switcher, and two, it's Pennsylvania Railroad. I live in Pennsylvania. I love the Pennsylvania Railroad. As with all things, it got too big, and not that it was too big, wasn't, and it proves that just because you're too big does not mean that you can't fail. But anyway, what this video is about is going through the different different ways they use to make the motors. This is one of Athearn's later creations. It's not the newest. It's not a Genesis, Athearn Genesis, but it's one of the better ones that they come up with. And so, and it runs really well. For the most part, this is what they are. The older blue boxes, what they call them. And we can see the different mechanisms. So, you got your motor and your armatures, and this needs cleaned up, and this here needs to be cleaned up and fixed. But this is not a bad locomotive right here. And they come apart. Well, these don't come apart real easy, but they're basically this one little groove right here. Right there is what holds it on, little tab, and then it comes right apart. And they're easy to work on for the most part. Most people can work on them. And so that's Athearn. Here's one. No. I'm not sure if it's Varney or if it's here, we'll just take that right out. That's a weight. This is Varney, or if this is pen line. There's no real markings on it. And if you look, there's nothing that says one way or the other what it is, and I can't remember because Varney and Penline had very similar mechanisms. But if you look, I mean, these trucks just pinch them right here, and they'll come right out. Problem with these is many times they had electricity going through these frames, and they call it zinc pest. And I want you to know that it's not zinc pest. You can call whatever you want, but it's not. That's not the issue. What the issue here was, when you put, because it's zinc mixed with aluminum. Okay, when you put zinc and aluminum together, and then actually, if you just take aluminum, add water, and put electricity through it, what you're going to get is it falling apart every time. I remember a while back we were working on this campgrounds, and they had this it amazes me how many of these Santa Fe's they have out there. There's a ton of them. I don't really care for them. I don't want Santa Fe's, but anyway, they had run this wire and they just put it on the ground. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to put them in tubes to keep the water out, glue them together. So they're plastic tubes, so the water will stay out. Or they used to use metal as well. Or you get under cable that's meant to be run underwater. Anyway, it got nicked, got water in it, and the electric went through, and literally, the aluminum turned into powder. So that's what they're calling it, zinc pest. It's not zinc pest. It is what happens when you run electric through aluminum, and it has water in it. And I want to say that aluminum also, this is porous, so water can seep in there. And it doesn't have to be a lot of water, it just has to be a little bit. And then you're going to start having problems. And but anyway, I believe this was Penline. I could be wrong. Might be in Lavelle, because Lavelle did the same thing. But somebody can correct me in the comments if you want. This one is a BL2. It was made by EDM. Not for very long. And I'm thinking that compared to how many they've since produced, because they produced a lot of these, and they put them on all kinds of railroads. They can run pretty good for you. But anyway, BL2. This is made by AHM, American Hobby Association. American Hobby Manufacturers. That's what it's called. American Hobby Manufacturer. Anyway, and we can see how this looks, and you can see the different components and how they made it. Some of you, and this is a 5-pole motor too, which they started making these here cheaper. And what happens sometimes is they crack. But it's cheaper made. It's less stuff. They don't have to put a screw there to get the thing out. Anyway, yes, this needs to be gone over. We're going to be doing a video on BL2s here soon. But this is AHM, and I'm just showing you the different manufacturers and the different designs on how they did their locomotives, and that's just another one that I forget what they call those motors. Here's another look at that motor. This is a 3-pole motor, and it does run. The same things. They have the brushes in there, and then they have this piece right here, which is soldered, which I think is a great idea. Of course, look at that there. That's somebody apparently thought the bigger the blob, the better the job. Anyway, but it works, and here's another one. This is another switcher, and it's made by AHM, except it doesn't have that same pull motor, and it's on a gear system. I think that's on a gear, and this is a little newer model. I don't know what year exactly they made this, but anyway, yeah, you can see the grease there. I don't think this has run much, but anyway, you can see the different designs. It's the gear goes down in there, and the manufacturer here is Mahano. Anyway, they call them RSOs. You can see it right there. I don't know if I can get the camera close enough or not. RSO, but it's still the distributor. Really, is what it is. The distributor is named. It's AHM, and they get these different manufacturers to produce them. I can't tear each one of these apart to show you what all is involved in it, but anyway, and then here's the one that you all probably know, and this is the name of it's Rock Island. This is one of those shark nose, and get my little scalpel out here, and all you do to get this off is right there, and comes right out, and right there's the motor, and I didn't pull a motor out. Let's see if we can get this apart. There you go. You just squeeze it, it comes right apart, and there you see the gear. You see here the grease. That's what the problem is with this motor. That and the wire hanging out right here. Wire. But this is what the heck? What do they call these? I forget what they call them. Power Torx motors. That's what these are. These are Power Torx, and this one needs cleaned up. I have not worked on it. This is some of you might be going, a lot of us know about Power Torx, but those of you that are wanting to get into the hobby, but you're like me, you don't want to spend $300. You don't want to spend that much money buying models, which I fully understand. I absolutely. On these here, I don't usually spend more than $10 on them. Let's see if we can get this back together. These really aren't hard to put back together, especially when you have my little scalpel thing here. Tool. It's just. Do I have it? Yeah, I have it right. See? And it pops right back in. These are very easy to work on, very simple, anyway, so we're going to be done much with that one. Very simple to work on, very easy, inexpensive. So, please hit the subscribe button, the bell, and share. Oh, don't forget to like. And thank you for watching.